Om Sri Sai Ram. प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। ओम श्री साई राम। Even the name of Lord Rama to become effective, one has to chant it with love. प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो। First, we have to saturate our minds, our hearts with love. Then alone, the name, the sacred name of Rama will radiate his light from our inner being. Now there is a paradox in this. It is a universal known fact that name of Lord purifies our hearts and our minds. But here, prema mudita manase kaho, Rama Rama Rama. That means first we have to saturate our hearts and minds with name of Rama, the Lord Rama, with love. Love purifies, love sanctifies. The name of Lord purifies and it sanctifies because love and Lord are inseparable. Love is the light of God, as rays of the sun are inseparable from sun. So, the love of Lord is inseparable from the Lord, from the name of the Lord. Swami gave a very beautiful example on this. When initially we came to Puttaparthi, even before coming to Puttaparthi, we had, I think after returning from Puttaparthi, we had opportunity to attend one bhajan for the first time. We had attended bhajans in Puttaparthi for one day. One evening, next day Swami went to Whitefield, and as I mentioned, he gave me permission to come back. And I received his vibhuti twice. Once he was leaving Puttaparthi, before entering his car, he came straight to me. I had no clue, no idea what Whitefield, Bangalore or Swami's car means at that point in time. It was our first visit. After the first encounter face to face, when he just grabbed my hand like this with love, we attended the bhajans because and that was the first bhajan of Raja Reddy Garu. He Vishwanath he Gaurinath he Sainath Bhagavan. This is the first version I heard of Swami in his presence. That time our minds were focused on Swami. He was just, his hair were this big, curly, dark curly hair, like a dark cloud, crown of curly hair. He would move like this and pull his hair, and this can't describe that beauty. And next day morning, this was evening, next day morning he goes to Whitefield, and then he comes to me because I had a thought to come back. I was feeling little homesick. He gave Vibhuti and permission to go. When we came again, as I mentioned, Swami came in dream of my father to convert our printing press into Sai Nilayam, fulfilling my passing desire. Just crossed the mind, I had this desire while waiting for his darshan in Whitefield. If at all we could have a temple like Prashanti Nilayam, maybe in future when I grow, I earn money, we should have that temple like Prashanti like temple in our house. But this God, a fleeting thought, not a very deep or serious issue. I was just 20. And this God appears to fulfill my desire through his channel, his proper instrument, my father. My father never visited that point in time. Of course, he then went twice and got interview also with us. He comes to my father in dream and commands him to convert our printing press on the ground floor. The hall was nearly the hall, the adjacent open space, and the office together were as big as Prashanti Nilayam ground floor mandir with portico and interview room, as not exactly, little here and there. And that mandir was created, so I had to go to Samiti to invite them. So I went to one bhajan which was being conducted near our theatre. I still remember very vividly. I could not sit even for one bhajan. Can you imagine? The moment second bhajan, but I had come to invite everybody, so I had to. So after second bhajan, I had to move out and be outside the hall where the bhajans were conducted and listen to the bhajans from outside. Inside, I could not sit. This was my very unique experience. Then I came to know this experience is with many devotees who come to bhajans for the first time. And Swami gave a beautiful explanation on this. He said, suppose you have a big vessels in your house which you have kept for use in any functions or wedding or anything. You keep those big vessels. I'm talking about 70s. Big vessels up on a shelf because you don't use them regularly. So during some festival, you bring down the vessels. What you do? You put them under running tap water for cleaning it because it has been unused for so long. And once you open the water tap, what comes out first? All the accumulated dirt which was not visible to your eyes because vessel was very huge, you could not see the dirt at the bottom. But once the tap is on, the water brings out all the dirt to the surface. What do? Do you close the tap? Oh, this is the dirt. No. You keep the tap running. You go on changing the waters once, twice, thrice, as many times as required, and then you scrub it all around. Again, water, again, until you get neat, clean, usable water quality. Then alone you can use that vessel for cooking or for storing any edible item or water, whatever. Same is with our mind. It has accumulated dirt for so many births, which is not seen. The dirt is at the bottom in the subconscious mind. Once you open the tap of bhajans, purifying water, the water in the tap is clean. But the bhajans do their job first, bringing up to surface of your consciousness all the dirt accumulated at the bottom of your mind, subconscious mind. Don't get afraid. Don't run away from it. Allow the water to do its job. Running water. Once, twice, thrice. Go on emptying the vessel till all the dirt is gone. Then scrub it with sadhana, with proper detergent, seva. Go on cleaning till it becomes good enough, clean enough to be used for cooking or storing your food or water, whatever you need to. So this is what love does. When you start loving God and singing His bhajans with love, love is very important. Prema mudita manase. Swami says, whatever you do without love, even seva, duty without love is deplorable. Love without duty is divine. You can love without any sense of doing your duty. It should be natural, spontaneous. Only when you come to that level, you can love without any compulsions of dharma or duty, as it is called. Many times we go for seva because we are required to go by the samitis or organizations or our own self-imposed discipline. We go for bhajan, seva, study circle. Manchini, it is good. But when you go beyond that, then you love without any sense of duty. It is your nature. Then it is not your duty to love, it is your nature to love. It becomes your nature. You cannot but love. You radiate love. The fragrance of love emanates from your inner being like fragrance of flower. You don't have to love, you become love. But that is very high stage. But we have to aspire for that. Fortunately, with His grace for me, this was my first prayer to Swami in my first ever letter, which actually I never gave him. I have mentioned in that letter when I wrote, "O Lord, my dear Father, I know that you know everything." I began my letter with this first sentence to show to my Lord that I know that you know everything. This is how our mind plays the tricks. But you can't outsmart this God at least. ये तो पक्का. Sure. In the end of that letter, PS, postscript, I wrote, Swami, my only prayer is, because in that letter I had not mentioned about I had no desires at that, just as I mentioned, just 20 years, 21. Pure innocent love for Swami. Love for sake of love. Not as duty. It is again His gift. I am lover by birth. So, the point was when I wrote, Swami, God, you know everything. I know that you know everything. He's coming from the lady side and he tells me in my ear. Just imagine, even before getting first interview, he gives this interview experience. If you write that I know everything, then why do you give me this letter? So I put this letter back in my pocket and button it, and he comes and takes me for interview. First interview, next interview. So my prayer, though he did not allow me to give him that letter, but that remained my prayer, and that remains my prayer till today. The ability to love all and serve all. That point in time, I did not know what it really means. Because at physical plane, it is impossible to love all and serve all. Even at mental plane, it is impossible. Even in your mind, you cannot love all and serve all. You have to become love to love all and serve all. Now I know it. And His grace, pure. I don't do any sadhana. I only love Him intensely, like a madcap. Ishq. And that has done its job. His love has done the job of blossoming that love within me. Today I feel that I am loving everyone and serving everyone with my consciousness. He has raised it to that level. It has taken a long process. It has to. For gold to become jewel, it has to pass through the fire. So the impurities are first the visible and invisible impurities. They are first to be removed with that water of love of bhajans. So it is both ways. First you use the water to cleanse it, and then you use the water to store it, to cook into it. Water does both the jobs. It's the name of Lord. When you chant His name, initially even without love, God gives that concession. His name does the job of cleansing our mind, to bring out the dirt on the surface so that we can throw it out. And then the same name of Lord becomes our instrument to lead our life, to cook what is nourishment for us. Both ways, it does both the job, to cleanse and to cook. But name of Lord should always be chanted with love. Whatever love initially we have, at least Swami says you love yourself. Everyone loves, even the most arrogant, egoistic person, a self-centered person. Ravana was self-centered. He loved himself, his Rakshasas, his kingdom, his authority. At least he loved his authority, his power. But that love was not sufficient enough to enlighten his mind and heart. I was shocked when one of my friends, Dr. Goel from Super Specialty Hospital, a sweet brother, he sent me one WhatsApp message 10 years back that the scientists have now discovered that to cure cancer, if you love cancer, you can cure cancer. Yes, I stored it, saved it for some years, then it is gone, but I remember the gist of it. And I understand the scientific reason behind it. Because when Swami made me a doctor, I could cure people with single dose. Many a times I cured them without giving them any medicine, because I loved them. And the patients who would not open up to their own spouse or wife or husband, whatever, they would open up their everything in my first meeting, because love sheds the light on their inner being. I see a person, I know a person, because I love every person. His love. Our love is no way. His love. We have to look at every person with his love, with his vision. Then the enlighten comes. So his love is the light of the Lord. And without that life, if you want to lead our lives either in absolute darkness or insufficient light, we all have little loves. Love for our job, love for our wife, children, relations, friendships, our so called modern habits. Some people say we love drinks. Okay, we have love. So, if not anything or anybody else, we love ourselves, we are self centered. But that love is insufficient love. In that light, the dim light, we would mistake a rope to be a snake. And that is what happens in this modern world, so called. We always misinterpret even the scriptures. We are not able to evaluate properly. We do not know how, what to value. We do not water the roots, we water the leaves and flowers which are visible to us, believing that if they are given water, the plant will grow. We do not have use, don't use our common sense because we are in that insufficient light. We are functioning in such zero insufficient light that we often fall. We make a misstep. It is our good luck sometimes that we don't fall. We need to enlighten at least our own being. Let us be selfish on that. No problem. God has no issues. Because it is His game. He can play anyways. He says, you want to be selfish? Okay, manchidi. At least out of that selfishness, if you don't want to enlighten others' houses, you don't want to serve others, serve yourself. Don't want to love others, love yourself. But love sufficiently enough. That too, we are very misers. I told one of the study classes that every morning a person who wants to begin loving himself, love, if you are so much conscious of your body, ahamkara is nothing but aham akara. The very thought that I am the body, aham akara, I am this form. When we identify ourselves with this form and name, this Aadhaar card number and everything, because we are, it's very difficult in modern times to come out of it. We are programmed right from birth. Nowadays, on day one, your Aadhaar card is made. Your identification is your Aadhaar card number, your name, for everything. So our minds are programmed. Nobody tells us that you are the Supreme, Divyatma Swaruplara Prema. Nobody tells us except this God. No avatar has done this. No lesser authority can say like this. And this is not from day one. Swami's first discourse, Divyatma Swaruplaras, Prematma Swaruplaras. Who can declare like this? Even with person with little common sense should know that only the highest authority can do this. And one should surrender once you know that he is the highest cosmic authority. Who can declare for entire humanity as Divyatma Swaruplara and Prematma Swaruplara? People may declare that I am Satya Sai Baba, I am Prema Sai. There are so many Satya Sai Babas and Prema Sai Babas in market. Let them declare. Let us see. With that authority, no one can. He alone can. Our minds are programmed with body consciousness. Swami gives us, this avatar gives us that concession. Because this Kali Yuga also is his creation. These computers also, everything is his game. Nothing can happen without his intent will. I love this God from day one only on this, that he does not say that good is mine and bad is yours. No ways. He says good and bad, whatever it is, my creation. I loved his this confidence on day one. Whatever happens is my will. Who can say like that? And takes up the responsibility. In the very first interview, I was physical level, unknown, new person entering his ashram, and he calls me and tells me, you get headaches because you think deeply. From today, you will not think. Leave everything at my lotus feet. I will take care. Who will take this responsibility? And he doesn't say, I'll take care for one day or for some time or for these conditions. If you behave like this, nothing, absolute, unconditional. Without any expectations in return. No return gifts. Nowadays, there's latest fashion. You give a gift and then you expect return gift. This God does not believe in taking. He only gives, forgives. Such pure divine love, infinite, unconditional love. And we have to just take his love. And he is giving free flow, overflowing love. It is overflowing. He is not a miser God. He told one Marwadi, I am not Marwadi to keep accounts. He is not calculating God. He is giving. It is like the story we have heard of Krishna, Arjuna, and Arjuna tells Krishna, why everyone praises Karna for being the greatest person who gives everything in charity and all that. Why everybody can give? What is so big deal about it? Krishna said, we'll talk sometime later. And next day, Krishna takes Arjuna for a round, and with his that Maya power, he creates 3 mountains of gold and tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you do me a job. You have to distribute this gold amongst all the people, whatever way you like. But you have to finish distributing it, giving in charity before sunset. Arjuna immediately called all the brothers, all his, come on. And then he made a line of people, and then he said, those who need the most in first line, those who are well off second line, like that. He started managing and organizing the entire event, event management. Sunset, and he could not finish it. He said, Lord, you have given me an impossible task. He said, okay, I'll show you. He created another similar, little bigger mountains of gold. Karna was passing by. He said, hey Karna, these are the 3 mountains of gold. You have to distribute it before sunset. Karna immediately saw 3 men there. He said, hey, you 3 people come here. You take 1 mountain, you second, you third. Okay, job finished, over. Why you have to organize? Just give off. Then Krishna told Arjuna, that is why he is the greatest giver. He gives without calculating. Because he knows that it doesn't belong to him. देनहार कोई और है, भेजत जो दिन रहन. He is the giver. When Krishna is telling finish off, He doesn't say you give to these many people or that many people, nothing. He doesn't say give this much to this section of people and this to. He is not commanding that way. You should understand the command of God. He simply says you give it off. One moment. Why you have to wait for sunset? You don't have to wait for sunset of your life to renunciate. As I told in one of the stories few days back, when you want to renounce, you don't go to a priest for Shubha Muhurtam, auspicious time. The moment you get the thought to renounce, that is the most auspicious time by itself. The moment you get this noble thought to give up, to give and forgive, that is the most auspicious time for you to perform. We always do the opposite. For accumulating, we don't look at the Rahu Kalam. If somebody, I remember one of my friends in Ulhasnagar, he used to do puja from till at least 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. He was great bhakta of Devi Mata. All night he will be doing satsang. He'll sleep at 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, get up around 12, and then 2, 3 he will be doing puja, and then alone he will do his business or eat food or whatever. That was his routine schedule. So once a friend of mine, he had to give some money to him, and the time was around 12:30, his puja time. So he tried to contact him. I said, now he will not come because I know that he is busy doing puja till 3 o'clock. He said, don't worry, just see. Only one call. If you want your money, come right now in 10 minutes. It is ready. Take it. I am going to Mumbai. And before 10 minutes, he was there to take money. He forgot his puja, everything. We don't believe in any graha or any Rahu Kalam when we want to take. But if we want to give, we want to go for Muhurtam, for auspicious time. God says do the opposite. When you want to renounce, that is the most auspicious time of your life. Don't wait for old age to renounce. Most of us wait for old age to renounce as if we are sure to live our old age. And believe me, it is very difficult to renounce in old age. You get more and more attached to your possessions, to your relations, to your whatever you have accumulated. Because though we all know and we came this and we'll go this, everybody knows. But it is difficult, our mind will not allow us. Then we find